Excellent idea, Flame. Look what came back for the show, Dragons. It's our giant map. It's back, it's on the attack, and it's ready for the news this morning. Great idea, Flame. Good morning, Dragons. I'm Mr. Salerno, and this is Flame, and look what came on to the show. And we want to welcome you to the news of Camelot. Today's Wednesday, March 10th, 2021. And before we get going on our giant map show, let's take a moment to pause, put our hand on our heart, and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may now pause for the moment of silence. Thanks, Dragons. And Flame, the sun is going to rise today at 6:27 in the morning, and it's going to set at 6:11 in the early evening. Dragons, we need to get back to getting on the giant map train with understanding some of the things that make our land in the United States so wonderful. And you know what, Flame? Let's do that. Because you might remember a couple of weeks ago, Dragons, we were talking about Water Wednesday. So Flame was talking about having Water Wednesday take place, maybe even with the giant map, with different bodies of water in the United States. So we thought, oh yeah, that's a great idea. But you might remember in the fall, we had an episode about a big flood, and that big flood took place right here in St. Louis, Missouri. Well, there are two major rivers, and not only are they major rivers in the United States, but they're major rivers in North America, and that's the Missouri River and the Mississippi River. And often, I would say that the Mississippi River is more popular. And there's a couple reasons for that, but the Missouri River is actually bigger. So let's go through a quick travel through what the Mississippi River touches and what the Missouri River touches. So the neat thing about the Mississippi River, Dragons, is that it covers 10 different states. It covers 10 states. This is the Mississippi River. Let's count them together. So it creates a border for Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, Illinois, Missouri, and then this little tip here in Kentucky, and then Arkansas, Tennessee, Louisiana, and Mississippi. 10 states, over 2,400 miles long. And often in our country's history, we say that things are west of the Mississippi River because there's a bit of a divide between when the country was founded and the eastern part of the country where we live and the west. That's why St. Louis is called the gateway to the west because of this natural border. But in fact, Dragons, the Missouri River is a little under 100 miles longer, and it starts here before flowing into the Mississippi River, and it goes from the west to the east. And it comes across Missouri, and the only big natural borders it creates is here in Kansas and here in Nebraska. But once it gets to Nebraska, it sort of flows through South Dakota and through North Dakota and into Montana. And then do you know what mountain range this is here? What mountain range is this, Dragons? That's right, that's the Rocky Mountains. So the Missouri River is just as big and is actually the biggest river in North America. The Mississippi, the second biggest river in North America, and both have similar depths, which means they're about 200 feet deep, more or less, and they have similar geography with wildlife and nature. But when you go to the Missouri River, there might be more plains, there might be more animals, there might be more open spaces where there are fewer cities, and thus maybe a little less popular. So we just thought that was a neat bit of information that we would have whenever someone says, what's the biggest river in the United States? What's the Missouri River? Well, what about North America? What's the Missouri River too? Because it's part of the United States. So maybe we can keep Water Wednesday going, and maybe if Flame gets the giant map out, we can utilize it to showcase some of the great waterways in our country. Dun, 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 dun. It's time for the birthday box. Now, Flame, we haven't had birthdays in a very long time. I think the last time we did the show was Friday when we had a birthday. So let's check this out. We have, all right, March 10th. Here we go. We have Sayla Bordner in kindergarten. Sayla, happy birthday to you. And Suleiman Karoma in 4th grade. Suleiman, we hope you have a great birthday. That is fantastic news. Let's check the mail, Flame. Let's see what's in the good old mailbox. Clunking around. Let's see here. It says, Dear Flame, we have been working hard on poetry in Miss Jones' class. We wanted to share this with you. It says this poem is called Mr. Salerno. The news shows are great. Flame is there. He talks about weather. He loves talking about everything. Well, that's for sure. I like to hear about the birthday box. He works in the principal's office. He wears a suit and a tie. Whoa, I left my suit upstairs, but I got my tie. Very special when we have Giant Map Day. That's very nice. This is from Miss Polini's and Miss Shaloub's class. Wow, that is so thoughtful, kids. Thank you very much. That's a wonderful poem. So keep up the great work in your poetry unit. This says, Dear Flame, I also drew an Among Us character, and I drew this 2 days before that. Well, that's really neat. Look at your schnoz there, Flame. That's kind of fun. Very nice. This is from Emma Ortiz in 5th grade. That's cool. And then, Dragons, we have this neat little video message from Rebecca Wilson in 6th grade. What are you asking, Rebecca?
Hey Flame, I have a question for you. Have you been able to solve the Rubik's Cube? I love the Rubik's Cube and I recently learned how to solve it really fast. I hope you have a great day. Bye.
Well, I have not been able to solve the Rubik's Cube. I don't know, Flame, you do like, yes, focusing on the Rubik's Cube. I agree, it is challenging. It depends, I guess, on how many levels it has. But keep that up, Rebecca. We will certainly do our best. It is an elusive problem for Mr. Salerno for sure, but keep up the outstanding work with that, and we appreciate the video message. Dragons, we have a fun announcement that's coming your way on Friday, and it involves cereal boxes and different cardboard boxes. So if you are one that likes to recycle, we're going to have a cool announcement for everyone where we can participate in an activity that involves the entire school, so stay tuned for that. And if you have any questions about lunch bunches, remember that lunch bunches are taking place today, which is great. Thank you to Mr. Maxwell and Mr. Soto for getting that underway. We hope that you have some participation if you're an online learner. So, on behalf of Flame, I'm Mr. Salerno. We hope you enjoy our giant map today, Dragons, and we can't wait to see you tomorrow. Thanks, everyone.